Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. And I welcome you to season 4. I love the number 4, by the way. It's actually associated in astrology with the sign of Cancer. And it's also associated with the North Node, our destiny. Number 4 is also the Emperor in the tarot. And so, yeah, why not kick off season number 4? And this season is going to be an evolution, an expansion of previous seasons on this podcast. And in this intro episode, I will talk with you a little bit about what you can expect from this new season. I have called the season 4 Multidimensional You. And multidimensional us is really what this season is going to be about. How we can start to relate to our, what I call our bigger self, our universal self, and how we can, embrace all parts of ourselves, including our spiritual self, because there's so much to discover about ourselves that may not be in the seen world, in the three-dimensional world, if you will. But beyond that, our spiritual self, our universal self, our bigger self, higher self, whatever you want to call it, is so vast and has a history that you can uncover. And for those who are not familiar, I took a little break between season 3 and season 4. And in that pause, if you will, I became a galactic astrologer. So I have expanded my coaching practice with astrology and specifically galactic astrology. And I'm so excited about this because this has really firmed up for me a way to be able to communicate to others their galactic history, their galactic associations, and our soul's history, which is all multidimensional information. So, and I'm so excited about this, and I will talk a lot more about it this season. You are going to get familiar with galactic astrology, but also you will enjoy guests, and you will enjoy perhaps also, I have an intention to be able to share some of the readings that I do with others to inspire you and to get you familiar with what type of information you can have access to for yourself. So as you can hear, I'm very excited about starting to share about all of this. And the reason I wanted to call it Multidimensional You and focus in on how I can help others to expand and relate to this expanded image and perspective of ourselves and start to incorporate that and live from that view in our daily lives here. It's because it really is about finding that harmony and balance within ourselves and with our external environment. This season of this podcast is going to be focused on topics that has less to do with releasing trauma or releasing things that hold us back or helping to step into our power. I refer to the previous seasons of this podcast for inspiration for just that. Now, moving forward, this podcast is going to be focused on how to stay in balance, how to keep it, how to live from a balanced and view if we have done some of the releasing and balancing already. So I hope you feel into the difference there, because it's once we've reached a point where we feel that some of the release work, if you will, has been done, and we're never done with that, but we're reached a point where we say, okay, I've done so much work, and now I want to live from a balanced, expanded perspective, this is for you. So I invite you to kind of tune into these episodes, because they're going to be very high vibe in the sense that they are expansive, they are light, they are focusing on how you can actually stay in that vibration, if you will, in that energy of harmony and balance, and continue to expand on your journey here. Yeah, so I'm so excited. We will focus a lot about topics around co-creation and co-creation with the universe, how to actually co-create with each other in a different way. And where I'm coming from here is that there's a new way of relating to ourselves and others. What I'm trying to say here is that when we live in balance and harmony with ourselves and our environment and with the universe, we are aligned to our life force. And in that way of living, we're also on purpose, if you will, so that others can clearly see what we are contributing with and naturally appreciate that and see how our energy fits in with their energy and how we can move forward into the future together in harmony. And I know you like, what is she saying here? But this is exactly what this season is going to be all about too in this podcast. How can we shift from being in, let's say, a competitive environment to an environment of harmony where we all work our energy on purpose and move together forward for a greater result, if you will. So that's called co-creation. And what I just gave an example of here is how it can look like in the practical way. But there's also a co-creation that we are having as a potential with the universe. And that's an inner journey on how we co-create with our bigger self, our higher self, our true self. I'm going to stick to the term true self, because that's how I use that language, if you will. But you will choose what you're relating to, and that's your truth. So whether it's the universe, true self, higher self, anything bigger self, like that. Yeah, so that's co-creation and how we can kind of shift our perspective on that in practice will also be part of this season of the podcast. There will also be, as I said, examples from other people's expansive journey in terms of relating to galactic information. And galactic information, every soul has a history out in the universe. And there is an increased interest in learning what our galactic heritage is. So that's part of what I'd love to, bring into this season as well, because our multidimensional self is knocking on our door and say, hey, we're ready now to start to relate to ourselves in a bigger way. And that's what this season is going to focus on. So I want to welcome you to season 4 of New Light Living podcast, See Your Life in a New Light. And I hope you will join us for the upcoming episodes. And I have a lot of fun topics, guests in store. So this is just a little introduction and more to come. So I love that you're here. If you're returning listener or watcher, welcome back. If you're new, you're in the right spot, because you found this podcast for a reason. And let's begin the journey. Bye.